Hey guys, what's up? It's KlaireeBerry. We're finishing up the program here that I've been doing, and I just want to touch base on the importance of the mood boosters. Okay, and mood boosters I think are important for just everyday life. This day and age, life is very stressful. Stress is like one of the number one causes of illness. It really messes us up, and it's so prominent in our culture. So it's very important that we are habitually boosting ourselves back up. And I want you guys to keep in mind, it's just like the alignment that we have within ourselves in the four elements with tarot and the law of attraction and just manifestation in general. We have the four different levels. You have the swords, you have the cups, you have the wands, and then you have the pentacles. You have the mental, the emotional, the physical, and the habitual. Okay, well, those kind of principles can apply to a lot of different things, but right now we're going to talk about it in relation to supporting yourself, giving yourself that self-love, building yourself back up after a traumatic experience, after a negative experience, any type of stress, little or big, but especially after doing the shadow work, and especially the inner child healing. Okay, because what happens when really with the shadow work, I find that it's not as necessary. You don't really need the mood boosters, even though some of what we're doing with the mood boosters it's just mantras, because the first thing is the mental. Okay, and we're always thinking thoughts. Okay, so training our brain to think positive thoughts, yes, obviously one of the first parts of the law of attraction, and still the holistic law of attraction as well. So having good mantras, of course, we know we say them in the present, we make sure they're positive and that they are, fulfilling for us. Okay, so it's good to take your shadow work, and usually it's that last one or those last two, that second line, on the grid that we have. If you watch the shadow work, you know what I'm talking about already. So it kind of naturally brings you to a mantra, because what you're doing is you're focusing on something negative with the shadow work, and when you flip it, it's positive. So that's where you want to go forward. So basically it trains your brain. Anytime you have a negative situation, just flip it. I mean, it seems so easy, but this is actually like a physical way to train your brain to do that. Okay, so that kind of naturally does it. You kind of naturally arrive at this new thought, and you're kind of naturally balancing out the positive thought by at least even the remote possibility that this is true, or that this may be true in the future. Use your imagination and let these thoughts kind of flow fluidly. So again, mantras are a great way to boost your mood, especially if you can get that feeling level out of them. So again, go through all your different things, like, what can I do to support my mental right now? Okay, what can I do to support my emotions right now? And then, what can I do to physically make myself feel better? And then how can I instill these things, all the three of these different sections, as everyday things that I continually give to myself? Maybe not every day, maybe every week or something, you know what I mean? To show up for yourself fully, not just physical pampering, self-love that everybody thinks of. Holistic self-love, holistic pampering. Okay, so again, a lot of these things can be in one or more categories. If it helps, you can also think about it as the love languages, showing yourself don't just say, oh, well, I really resonate with this one, so I'm just gonna, or maybe these two. No, you're a holistic being. You holistically love yourself. You holistically show up for yourself here. Again, when you do that for yourself, others will follow suit, and you will be able to receive that love from other people only after you give it. And the thing is a lot of times, well, we have a shallow type of a love, and that's the same stuff we give to ourselves. So now we're going further. Now we're going deeper. Now, again, we're making this part of our lifestyle. Okay, we know we're going to show up for ourselves. So therefore, we're used to receiving. And we have that you start to get that belief and expectation that you're worth it, that it happens, that this is how life is. You get these wonderful things, And like I said, it's just very beneficial for after doing the inner child healing work, because the inner child healing work is usually really deep. It's usually really emotional, and it can kind of hang around like a cloud if you don't, if you don't fully complete it, if you don't get all the way down. And sometimes it can be a process, for those of us who have a lot of trauma, and especially like really drawn out trauma, as I might have mentioned in this program already, it can really be something where you're having to spend a lot of time on this. It's like you need a vacation just to recuperate from your inner child healing work. And it feels good on a certain level because you're moving stuff around. It's kind of like if you've ever done KonMari, when you take everything out. It's the I think she's Japanese lady who came up with this. Marie Kondo came up with this KonMari idea where you take everything out, and it kind of looks like my bed right now. If you see the rest of my bed, you'd be like, oh my gosh, what is going on over here? But you just take everything out, all your junk in any one area, dump it on the bed, throw it all out there, and what it does is it's like shock and awe, and it really shows you like, oh God, I have a lot of shit right now. But it's like, and even just decluttering in general, you have to make a mess sometimes to clean up. You have to take stuff out. Again, this is like our whole process. It's another metaphor. It's another metaphor for our healing work. It's like the itch or the infection that I always talk about, or digging up the dinosaur bones. This is the same thing. You have to pull it out, look at what you have, look at your wardrobe and say, does this spark joy? Is this serving me? Whatever else the other questions are. And then if not, you toss it. And then you have to reorganize what you do have. And that is exactly the same process. That I love it that we just came up with another one. So anyway, I'm just going to share with you guys a few ideas, again, because you don't want to get stuck in this funk. And one tip before I get into it too, with the inner child healing work, if you feel like your trauma or whatever is like so great that you need to revisit, and kind of continually work on your issue here. And sometimes, like I think I've stated, again, there's kind of many parts of this one initial trauma, that you want to kind of deal with all sides of it, the mental one day, the emotional the next day, the after effects the next day or whatever. Okay. So it's important, like I said, to just build yourself back up in every way. And that'll help you to kind of counterbalance it and also to continue healing and get through it. It can be like hand in hand. Okay. So, just some ideas here. Tea. Like if you're a tea person, I love like some nice sweet tea, getting a massage, taking a bath, obviously one of my favorite, examples of the physical, things like foam rollers, working out in general, doing, I'm looking for all my stuff. Oh, here, we got the yoga ball, even just like not the yoga ball, the yoga wheel. You can actually give yourself a really good, back adjustment. My back always pops. It's like a cheap chiropractor a little bit. You can use it over and over again. A foot massager. I got one of those foot massagers where it's like it vibrates, you plug it in and you just set your feet on it, and it's like the most best thing in the world. Doing tarot cards, if that, whatever really makes you happy and truly happy too. Not just like, oh, I like to binge watch TV, it makes me happy, but really you're just numb. The absence of pain is not actual happiness here. Shopping, to a certain extent, again, with a lot of these things, you can overdo them, any type of food stuff, anything like that, you can overdo it. You can really get obsessive about anything and do it too much. Like hand washing is great, but if you do it too much, you're going to crack and bleed, you know what I mean? So be careful, not to overdo it. But, even just window shopping or like online shopping or, walking around in the mall, getting your steps in, like I said, exercise, any kind of exercise, like gentle, healing, stretching, taking hikes, walking, maybe watching movies, especially like good comedies are really, really great. Zombieland too. Okay, good deal. Rebounders, jumping on trampolines, doing things that you like to do as kids, going swimming, dancing, hula hooping. Very, very good. If you have a sauna, like maybe at your gym, like I do, going into the sauna, doing some meditation, maybe some hot yoga, yoga in general. Like I said, any kind of great food, whatever you like spicy, you like comfort, whatever you're craving, just kind of say, you know what, I'm worth it. And again, don't take it too far and don't make yourself really ultimately feel like crap, afterwards, by overeating or eating really unhealthy foods. This also has to do with like truly honoring yourself again on a deeper level, not just what you think you want because you're addicted to this or you're just so used to doing that, social conditioning, this and that. Meditation can be great, and that there can be so many different ways. Again, you could do a walking meditation, a hiking meditation. You could do just lying in bed, before bed, or even when you wake up, and just doing a simple mindful meditation. You can do breath work, just really paying attention to your breath. That's all you really need to do. Or different like happy place meditations and like guided visualizations, whatever. And that kind of goes along with carrying out the part of the inner child healing work that again is with that mantra. And like the mantra would be more for the mental, for the shadow work side, but to still go through the visualization of after you do the inner child healing work. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit more in my next video, which may be my very last video. I'm not sure, I keep saying that and then I want to keep adding on. But so yeah, it's not only going through with the shadow work and saying your mantras, but it's about following through and saying, and revisualizing, not necessarily the trauma. You don't want to keep on, once you've gotten to identify, once you've gotten in there, in the infection or whatever, then you know what it is. You don't have to keep digging, okay? You dig it out and you clean it out and then you let it be. Okay, so that's where this positiveness comes on. It's like a nice cream, a nice healing cream, maybe some organic type of antibiotic tea tree ointment or something, like most people would say Neosporin, but I don't think that's really good. So anyway, that's besides the point. But we're not trying to stir it up. We're not trying to go through those emotions every time, but what we're doing is going through the healing parts. So that would be visualizing your person coming in for you, whoever that is, mother, father, your own self. For me, it's Mama C. You guys, if you've seen the whole program, then you know what I'm talking about. So just visualizing, them doing the love languages to you, doing, the physical touch, doing the words of affirmation, doing the, everything else that there is, quality time, overtime, service, goods, material goods, whatever, okay? All of the above. And again, you could also look at it as them, giving to you mentally, like stimulating you or building you up mentally, building you up emotionally, helping, to contribute physically to you, whatever, again, massage or whatever however you want to visualize that sort of thing, or even just touch, the hug and the cradle and the just calming down, and when you visualize that, you already, again, you already know because you've seen the program, or if you haven't, if you're just watching this, then yeah, go see the program. And as of this time of posting, it is still free until the end of the week at Sunday, the 27th at 3:30. So check it out while it's free. Otherwise, go to KlaireeBerry.com for all the updated prices on it and get it at any time. Okay, so yeah, I think I was making my point there. So, and then going through to the external. So your person, your mom or your dad or yourself, giving yourself this love in all these different ways over time. Okay, however you want to see it, or a combination of both. Okay, so visualizations in general can also be a good one. Again, cuddling with, your person, your partner, even yourself. You can cuddle with yourself. You can cuddle with a pillow. You can cuddle with your pets, rest, taking a nap is sometimes very much needed. Getting a facial, sunbathing, getting some nice sun, even going sun tanning in the middle of a cold winter, a cold, dark winter, you actually can get vitamin D that way, maybe even taking some supplements and like boosting yourself, maybe doing a cleanse, but, I have mixed feelings about that. Reading an uplifting book, watching, videos, uplifting videos, going to different videos, where people are making a lot of sense to you, maybe even making a playlist of your favorite videos or favorite music, the hertz, the megahertz type of music, that the meditative musics, eating carbs and maybe a little bit of sugar, even like maybe some good organic sugar, but just like that helps with your serotonin and getting like fiber and, all of this stuff is really supportive to your gut health, but actually really deals with your emotions and your mind. Okay. So, because they're saying the gut actually lives in the mind now in a way. Drinking water, very, very important, and it could be relaxing and having a cocktail or a glass of wine with your girlfriends or whatever. Like, again, don't overdo it, but sometimes healing and laughing with your friends can be the most, healing thing of all. Friends, family, things like that, going to parties, celebrating, Making lists. Okay. I really recommend, I love having different lists, different, sometimes just little trackers to like track my progress, and it just makes me feel good, that I've done all of these things, or this many hours of this, or like look at all this that I've done. Making a list of your accomplishments. Start with everything you've done ever since you were a kid. Learn to write, learn to read, this and that. Have this whole list, and you'll be like, oh, it's a great visual, but it's also, you can review it and be like, oh yeah, if I can do all of this, like I can do anything, right? And it just like builds you up, makes you confident. And then that way, when you follow through, again, beliefs, expectations, beliefs. I just said beliefs, expectations, beliefs. You know what I mean? I don't even know what I mean, but it sort of makes sense. So, it the mental, the emotional goes out, and then it comes back. That's this cycle, okay, that we're going through here. On a similar note, making a list of your positive, awesome, amazing attributes. Sometimes you could even just write a list of adjectives to describe yourself. Go look in the mirror and tell yourself you are those things, okay? Vision boards or vision books, very good. Although I would steer clear of really focusing on them, as a lot of times when people do those, it's all like, this material good, that material good, like this and this and that, and it's all very shallow. So it doesn't really, you have to make sure that when you do those, like find things or, print things off or draw things or paint things or whatever that really speak to you on a deeper level of what you truly want. And again, what your deeper and higher and inner self really truly wants, okay? I said yoga, qigong, I think I said dancing already as well. Sometimes cleaning can be very therapeutic for people. Again, all of these aren't going to work for everybody. But sometimes even if it's not therapeutic, just like actually organizing and cleaning up your space, it's your personal space. And again, it's your external energy. It's your extended energy, okay? Sparkling drinks, again, tea, kombucha, a little bit of chocolate. Oh yeah, maybe, some kind of nice vegan shake. Oh, I'm just like strawberry shake, yum, bananas and ice cream. I could go on and on about the foods. Yeah, listening to podcasts. I already said YouTube videos. Yeah, watching your favorite TV show, a little bit of guilty pleasure, a couple times a week. No problem with that. Give yourself time to rest, okay? Making sure that, again, in addition to some of this more extravagant stuff like massages and saunas, really you're just checking your basic needs, enough rest. And let's do the 6 S's, okay? 6S for success, okay? So it's sleep, saturation, satiation, again, the healthy styles of these things, sweat or steps, getting enough steps, we talked about that, getting some movement, and not sitting too long, okay? And then what else do we got? Stillness or spirit, making sure you have that connection, and then your social, okay? So all of these things like physically help us to be our best and feel our best. So start there and then go outwards, okay? Maybe looking through old scrapbooks, old photo albums, old home movies. If that's uplifting for you. Again, if that's dramatic for you and it brings shit up, then that's not for you right now. Okay? Even just like something like getting dressed up, doing your hair, getting dressed up in your favorite clothes, that maybe you used to keep them in the back of your closet because it's too nice, it's too beautiful to wear on a regular random day, but now you're going to pull it out just because you're special and you deserve it, okay? That sort of energy, okay? Or could be just wearing something more comfortable than what you normally wear. People are like trying to all stuff themselves and wear this and look this stiff that, and it's like, you have a right to be comfortable, okay? Just keeping yourself nice and warm, a little fire, anything hygge, like, yes, okay? And anything that really will help to promote that dopamine as well. So some of the things that are good at that, obviously you want to, first of all, avoid things that kind of deplete your dopamine. So any kind of drug, again, too much chocolate, too much alcohol, too much food in general, too much sleep, not enough sleep, whatever. Those things can definitely throw you out of whack, okay? Stress as well. Coffee even, okay? Coffee is very underrated. People don't think that it is a drug, but it is. But again, creating that dopamine, definitely, again, fiber, very important to have good fiber, not too much, saturated fat, all of that processed meat, shit like that. Ooh, so bad. Probiotics, because I was just talking about the prebiotics, with the fiber, and then you get the probiotics, which work in alignment, not only for, your mood boost, but also for your immune system and all of that. Some other things, you got ginseng, you got ginkgo biloba, you've got like turmeric and curcumin, or however you say that, oregano oil, magnesium. I've got this magnesium powder that it tastes really good, and I just pour it into, and you don't want to overdo that type of stuff, because sometimes you can get an imbalance with your calcium, especially if you're vegan. Not necessarily especially if you're vegan, but that's what people would normally think, but in reality, for everybody. Green tea, smaller amounts of green tea. Again, sunlight, vitamin D, and omega-3s as well. Okay, so make sure and support yourself. Make sure and talk to yourself. Again, just the 5 love languages, do them for yourself. And then also, again, visualize your person in your life. Again, whether it's you as your older self and you're the child, or you doing it now to yourself, or again, your mother or your brother or your mom or your dad. I said mom twice. Doesn't matter. You're letting them to give you love in all ways. Don't just pick one way. You accept that love in any way it comes. Okay? And just always kind of be on the lookout for like where the next display of love is going to come from, rather than, people get so like, oh, what's the next crazy things always happen to me? Da, 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 da. No, you are special. You are amazing. And you've just done some amazing work. If you've really gotten deep into the inner child healing work, you can really feel proud. I have chills right now thinking about this, because again, you're not only doing this selfishly for yourself to feel better, which is not selfish at all, but sometimes we think that way, but this is actually going out. Your vibration, whether you talk to anybody about it or not, whether you share the message like I am or not, it doesn't matter. You're helping people. You're helping the vibration of the earth, and you're helping us to get to a new level. So it's really important work. And like I said, I don't want anybody walking away from it, getting into a funk and, kind of faltering. It's like, and that's why you also got to keep doing it. You got to keep going. And you may take breaks, where you like do it for a while and then you come to a completion and you're like, okay, I've had enough for a little while, but don't just give up and never go back and revisit it. It's like, you need to be somewhat consistent, with it. And, I feel like you can get to a certain point where like, okay, maybe I'm done with doing the actual inner child healing work, because I can't think of anything else, that's wrong. But then you just continue to do the shadow work. And then it's not even like you need to do this stuff just because you're so, down, because the inner child healing work brought you down, because shadow work, again, doesn't really bring you down that much. But this still becomes a way of life at that point. And it's mind boosters, it's emotion boosters, it's body boosters, mood boosters, however you want to call it. You know what I mean? So, and all of this stuff is going to help you to be able to, again, manifest and accept love and goodness and positivity. And the more you give to yourself, especially in whatever realm, you could even take it so far as to say, well, what am I lacking? What do I most want out of my life? And you say, oh, well, if I need to really, my finances are where my, where I need to really focus on right now, then you might want to focus on actually doing things for yourself that are like financial. So like making a budget, like making a list of all the times you were good with your money, or, something along those lines, saving money, putting like actually doing something. Again, it's not just about this visualization. It's not just about thinking and mental. And it's not just about surrounding that thought with emotion. Although, yes, you want to do that, but you can't stop there. And that's what this is all about. So when you open up these energy pathways and when you actually start doing things, or again, if you, let's say it wasn't financial, let's say you want to receive love from people. People are really just, they're not showing up for you. You're not feeling it. You're feeling like everybody's letting you down. Everybody's again, like however it manifests for you, then you basically sit there and think about what you would want from them. Do you want the physical touch? Then give it to yourself. Do you want, like this public words of affirmation? Then give it to yourself. Do you want, again, whatever it is, whatever it is, words of affirmation, physical touch, give yourself a massage, whatever, get a little massage thing, like find out how to give to yourself in those ways. And again, you'll be knocking stuff loose, okay? You'll be knocking stuff. I'm thinking of like the artery, when it's like the little fiber goes through. This is so hilarious. And it kind of knocks it. Well, the fiber doesn't really go through that, but that's kind of like the idea. We're just knocking things loose. The little clogged arteries, the little plaque gets knocked loose by something. I don't know. Science people, help me out. You can tell I'm a vegan. Anyway, so yeah, I think I have pretty much said what I needed to say on this. It's supposed to be a short video anyway, so I won't drag it out any longer. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, etc. Find me all over Facebook. And yeah, I'll be back with a couple more videos on the program. Talk to you soon. Bye.